really important, especially mothers. You're caring for the whole family. Who's taking care of you? You need to take care of you. Because if you're not okay, they are not okay. The kids won't be okay. Your husband won't be okay. Guys, welcome back to Chat with Tiana. My name is Tiana Ebong, and I make videos to inspire, to help you and I live our best lives. So in this video today, we're going to be talking about self-care tips for moms because of something that I read on Instagram recently. So if it's something that you would like to see, please stay tuned. Don't go anywhere, and I'll be right back with you. You're welcome. Post by the Diary of a Nigerian Girl, Dan. She has a community on Instagram and she posts really cool stuff. So she posted something that a guy posted on Twitter. She reposted a tweet from a guy from Twitter. So according to the guy, he said his notion of a man and a woman, or the duties of a man and a woman, was that the man will go out and work and fend for the family while the woman will do the chores and take care of the kids. So that was how he and his wife lived. So he worked 9 to 5, and then the wife was a full-time housewife. She took care of the kids and the home front and everything. So according to him, according to the story, one day he got back from work, and as usual, he was expecting his food to be on the dining table, which was customary of his wife since she was a full-time housewife. So he said he got back from work, and after greeting him, he looked at the dining table and it was empty, and his wife said that the meal was still on the stove, that he should give her a few more minutes before the food would be ready. And according to him, he was furious because he had become so used to eating as soon as he entered the house. The food was always ready. So the woman pleaded with him and asked him to give her a few minutes to finish up the cooking. So according to him, he sat in the parlor waiting for her to serve the food. After a while, according to the tweet, he didn't hear anything from the wife. So furiously, he stormed into the kitchen to demand why his food was taking so long. And according to him, when he got into the kitchen, the food was on the burner, but it was burning. And according to him, he said he met his wife sitting arms crossed like this and sleeping. She looked like she was sleeping, and he said he was furious. And then he turned off the burner, and then he tapped her for like 3 or 4 times, and there was no response. That was when he knew that something was wrong. So he immediately alerted the ambulance, and they came and got the wife and took her to the hospital. Getting to the hospital, the doctor said, "Thank God you brought her as soon as you did, because your wife was about going into cardiac arrest. She had fainted. She was unconscious." And after all the tests and everything, the doctor, pegged it on stress and said stress caused his wife to faint. And according to the tweet, the man said he didn't understand why the doctor would say stress caused his wife to faint, because she was a full-time housewife and she only did little things in the house. So why would she be stressed? So the doctor insisted that the wife needed some few days to rest, bed rest, he insisted. So the man had to take a few days off work to take care of his wife. So he said he did that. So on the first day, he said he started the day with making breakfast, showering the kids, making breakfast for the kids, packing their school bags, sending them off to school in the school bus, and then coming back home. He said he had to do the laundry. The house was a mess. He had to tidy up the house. And then he went to the kitchen. There was a lot of dirty dishes in the sink. According to the man, by the time it was midday, he almost fainted. He said he couldn't make it past the first day. That was when he realized that the little things that he termed little things that the wife did in the house were actually enough to cause his wife to faint. And according to him, after that day, they started making intentional choices for self-care for both of them. It's kind of a funny story. When I read the tweet, it was funny, but there's a lot to learn and lessons. Yeah, there's a lot of lessons to learn from it. Don't wait till you faint before you start taking care of yourself. Yeah, because when people think about self-care, all they think about is some luxurious spa somewhere or some other fancy nail polish somewhere. No, that's not what self-care is. Self-care is about making little intentional choices to take care of yourself. Notice the word intentional. It has to be intentional. It doesn't just happen and say, okay, tomorrow I'll take care of myself. You have to be intentional about it. This body that we have is the only house that we have to live in, so we need to be intentional about taking care of our bodies, our minds. Yes, so in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you some tips that I have recently started imbibing too, because I also need self-care. I also didn't, really pay attention to self-care for a while until recently, and it's really important, especially mothers. You're caring for the whole family. Who's taking care of you? You need to take care of you, because if you're not okay, they are not okay. The kids won't be okay. Your husband won't be okay. So you need to take care of you. So let's get into the self-care tips that we should be doing to take really good care of ourselves and how we can go about it. First things first, mommies, you need to stop apologizing for wanting to take time off for yourself. You need it. You're giving out to your kids, you're giving out to your husband, you're giving out to the society. You need to replenish, ladies. It's very important. So stop apologizing for taking time off, for wanting to take. There's so many women that want to take time out for self-care, but they can't because they feel guilty. So tip number 1, schedule it. You know how you make a roster for your kids for their, their daily, what they need to do? Like I have a roster for their lunch boxes. I have a roster for their swimming lessons. I have a roster for their study time. I have a roster for their outing times. You should have a roster for your self-care time. So put it on your schedule, put it on your roster. If it's once a week or once in 2 weeks or once in 3 weeks, put it on that roster. Set an alarm for it and say, on so and so day and time, I am taking 30 minutes or 1 hour off for self-care. Yes, very importantly. Tip number 2 for self-care for moms is to make it a date. Plan it with other people. It doesn't have to be a spouse. Plan an exercise like a walk, or plan if it's yoga class, if it's swimming, if it's something that is within your reach. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to involve money. Even sitting in your car alone is self-care. Anything that takes you away from your normal routine is self-care, and it keeps it revitalizes you and keeps you refreshed. You come back and you're able to think straight and think new thoughts, new ideas. So make it a date. Plan with other people. That way you won't be able to cancel. I'm talking from experience. Every time that I say, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I end up not doing it because I'm not committed to it. But if you're committed to it with friends or with friends, yes, so you have to keep that date, and you find out that you are able to take out time for self-care. So make it a date, plan it with 1 or 2 friends, and just something. Go out. This next tip might be funny, but feed yourself as you feed your kids. Sounds funny, right? You know how you plan your kids' meals? Well, for me, speaking from experience, I prepare their fruits, their veggies, make sure that the meal is balanced with the protein and the carbs. Do the same for yourself, dear. Do the same for yourself. As you feed the kids healthy food, make sure you are feeding yourself healthy too. You have to be alive to take care of those kids. Yeah, so feed yourself as you feed your kids. And in case you don't know, your kids are watching. They're watching how you treat yourself. They're watching how you take care of yourself or not. You are telling them how they should live. So if you don't take out time to take care of yourself, they are watching, especially if you have daughters, even sons, they're watching you. They're watching how you treat yourself with disdain and how you don't take out time for yourself. They're watching. And tomorrow, if they start to live that same life, you'll be asking them, why are you living yourself like this? And then your child will go, but mommy, that was how you were when we were growing. So lead by example. Your kids are watching. Number 3, find something, just one thing that makes you happy. For me, it is writing and vlogging and, making videos. Look for one thing. There has to be one thing that you love doing. There has to be one thing. If it's baking, if it's just something, that you love doing, that makes you smile on the inside. Look for one thing that makes you happy and put it on the roster, and try to do that thing at least once or twice a month, and check out how your psyche will be revitalized. Another tip for self-care for moms is to create a book of joy. That's something that I do. I have a journal and I tagged it my book of joy, and in that book I just write happy thoughts. Might be things that have happened, might be things that I want to happen, and I just call it my book of joy, and it gives me joy every time I open it to read. So that is also self-care. Like 30 minutes every day, you sit in a corner after the kids have gone to bed or not, in a quiet place, and you open your book of joy and you just read and smile. That is self-care. Self-care doesn't have to be grand or something expensive. Whatever it is that you do that gives you joy or gives you happiness, that is self-care, ladies. So another tip is to have, create a book of joy and write happy thoughts in there, and once in a while find time, make out time to read those thoughts. That's a great self-care tip. Ask for help and offer help as well. Sometimes just plan a play date for your kids with other kids. That way you have 30 minutes to 1 hour to yourself, and you can do something that makes you come alive or something that makes you happy. You could go out for ice cream by yourself or with a friend while your kids are on a play date. Ask for help. There are people around you, no matter how small your community is, there's people who are always willing to help. And also return the favor. Not every time you're the one asking for help. Sometimes offer to help others as well. Let's make a community of mothers that help each other, because we need each other to survive. We need each other to rejuvenate. We need to help each other. Self-care is all about helping one another. If you see a woman who looks like she's breaking down, offer to take her kids off her for a while she gets some me time to herself. I've received such help from a couple of friends here, and I've been so thankful. Once in a while, I just say, bring your kids over, and that way I have a few 30 minutes, 1 hour to myself to do something fun for myself. Self-care is about doing things for yourself that makes you happy and rejuvenates your body, mind, and soul. And lastly, while you are scheduling times for yourself for self-care, remember that your spouse or your partner also needs some self-care too. Yeah, so encourage them to take out time for themselves to rejuvenate. If your spouse likes bowling or going to movies, you could get them a ticket, let them go on their own, and just, anything that they can do that they love doing, that you think they love doing, just encourage them to do it once in a while, all in the bid to get some me time, rejuvenate, and self-care. Very important for both parties, for mommies and daddies, because at the end of the day, we need two healthy minds to work together to take care of the family. Yeah. So yeah, those are the useful tips for self-care for moms and maybe dads as well. So let me know in the comment section which of the tips you resonated with you the most, and if you have other self-care tips that you do, please share with me so I can learn as well. And I will see you all in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a beautiful day. God bless you.